Last year, my buyers bought homes all across Cochrane, but 3 communities kept popping up. Now, the first one isn't going to surprise anyone. The second one surprised even me, but the third one is a community that most people looking to move to Cochrane don't even know exists, but my buyers loved it. So in this video, I want to break down those 3 communities that my buyers fell in love with, tell you where they are, the pros and cons of each, and see if one of those may be right for you. Coming in at number 1, and this is going to be no surprise to anybody, is Sunset Ridge. Sunset Ridge is located just north of Cochrane up Highway 22. It is Cochrane's largest community, and it has some of the best views of the mountains that Cochrane has to offer because it is also at the highest elevation of any other community here in Cochrane, Alberta. Now, the main reason that my buyers fell in love with Sunset Ridge is because Ranchview Elementary, the K-8 school in Sunset Ridge, is restricted to only Sunset Ridge residents, which means it is operating at the lowest capacity of any school here at Cochrane, meaning that there is definitely room for your kid to attend that K-8 school right inside your community and walk or bike to school. That is a huge win for young families. Now, some of the pros and cons for living in Sunset Ridge. Pros being the mountain views. It also has a very extensive pathway network around the storm pond and along the ridges, and it actually connects down into the Ranchview pathway system as well, giving you easy access to some really cool recreational activities. The last pro is that Sunset Ridge is established. While it is still a relatively new-ish community, and there are still new homes being built, many parts of Sunset Ridge are very well established, and so you can move into these homes that are slightly newer, but have no construction around you. But before you decide if Sunset Ridge is the right community for you, let's talk about the cons. The biggest con to living in Sunset Ridge right now is the fact that for such a large community, there is only one entrance in and out of the community, meaning if you are having to commute for work or drop kids off at school and you are traveling during those real peak times around the drop-off and pickup of school, especially around Ranchview Elementary, be prepared for some significant congestion in the traffic. And so that may be a big turnoff for you. Secondly, because Sunset Ridge is located north on Highway 22 and away from the downtown area of Cochrane, you do have to drive 15 minutes to get to any of your groceries, as there is not a grocery store located in the community itself. Now, number 1 wasn't a surprise to anybody, but community number 2 surprised even me. Can you take a guess? That community is Heartland. Heartland sits just on the west side of Cochrane on the south side of Highway 1A. Its location there is huge because it's super easy to head west to the mountains or commute straight through Cochrane along Highway 1A and out to Calgary for your morning commute. That location is pretty important. But the main reason that my buyers chose Heartland last year was that Heartland tends to see a slightly lower price for what you get in your home. So my buyers were able to get a bigger, maybe newer house with a few more options than they would have in some of the other communities because Heartland doesn't offer some of the same views because it's tucked down in that river valley as say Sunset Ridge or some of the other more elevated communities here in Cochrane. So with that location, you do get a little bit more value for your dollar. Let's talk about some of the pros and cons of living in Heartland. Pro number 1, Heartland actually has an off-leash dog park right inside the community, which is new as of last year. The second pro is that it is actually really surprisingly close to the Bow River pathway system. There's a pedestrian bridge on the west side of Heartland that crosses the tracks and gets you right down to the Bow River pathway, depending on where you are, in only 10 to 15 minutes of a walk, which is extremely cool considering its location. The third pro, which we've already kind of touched on, is you get more value for your money. The homes here in Heartland typically sell for a little bit less despite the square footage and despite the features than some of the more popular communities like Sunset Ridge and Riviera. So if you're looking to make your dollar go further, this might be the spot for you. But hold on, what are the cons? There's 2 major cons for Heartland. One is its location being down in that valley. It is also kind of in the middle of Highway 1A on the north side and the train tracks on the south side. And that does tend to deter some people that are worried about road noise or the train noise. And the second con is that it is still a new community. The landscaping isn't super mature. And as of right now, there are limited amenities on the west side of Cochrane. However, that is coming as there is some new proposed commercial spaces that include a grocery store coming to Heartland in the near future. So, did number 2 surprise you? If you're new here, my name is Reed. I'm a local real estate agent here in Cochrane, Alberta, and I help buyers every week find the community that fits them best in Cochrane. Now, before I show you community number 3, take a second, drop down in that comment section, and take your guess. What do you think that community is? All right, number 3 is Jumping Pound Ridge. Now, it's a relatively small community with only 70 detached homes. It is located southwest of Cochrane, Alberta, on the south side of the Bow River and west on George Fox Trail, and it's kind of way back in a pocket, and most people don't even know it exists. Why my buyers chose to love that community last year was that it was quiet and peaceful, and the views and the nature surrounding the community was something that they hadn't seen in other communities here in Cochrane. But before you make up your mind from the stunning aerial footage that you just saw, here are the pros and here are the cons of living in Jumping Pound Ridge. The first pro I'm going to talk about is the lack of traffic. When you live in Jumping Pound Ridge, the only reason people have to drive through that community is if they live there or they're visiting friends that live there. There's no amenities in the community, so the traffic is relatively limited and very quiet. Pro number 2 is that most of the homes have quick access to a pathway that wraps all the way along the ridge with stunning views of the Jumping Pound Creek Valley and a nature conservancy site that borders the community. So if you're looking for that close connection to nature where you can take a morning walk and watch wildlife, Jumping Pound Ridge should be on the top of your list. But don't forget about the cons, and there's 2 major ones. 1, there is a very significant lack of amenities in Jumping Pound Ridge. Because it is such a small community and it is located, 10 to 15 minutes outside of downtown Cochrane, from doctor's appointments to groceries to filling up gas, all of your amenities you will have to commute to go do. And so that is a drawback for living in Jumping Pound Ridge. And the second con, and it's more of a con about how hard it is to find a home there, because there's only 70 detached homes, which is what my buyers were looking for in this community last year. There is not a lot of homes on the market at any one given time in Jumping Pound Ridge. So when they do hit the market, they tend to go pretty fast, and there is generally a lot of interest because of the location and the peace and quiet that comes with it. So those were the 3 top communities my buyers chose last year. Now I ask you, does one of those 3 sound like it would be a fit for you, or are you looking for something totally different? So if you're thinking about moving to Cochrane, Alberta, and you are looking for more information on what communities might fit you and your budget and your timeline and all of your needs, reach out. My contact information is on the screen now. It is also in the description of the video below. I help buyers relocate and move into Cochrane every week. There is tons of information on this channel, whether it be property tours or Cochrane specific information videos. If you have further questions, drop them below. If you liked the video, hit like, hit subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one.